Me, I don't talk much. I just cut the hair.
So I read that the inspiration was a prop from the Hudsucker proxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a poster in our office, which was a series of little boys' heads, all with different haircuts, and the names of each of the haircuts underneath. And having spent a lot of time looking at that poster, somehow it crept into, let's do a movie about a barber.
There's not much to it once you've learned the basic moves. For the kids, there's the butch or the hiney, the flat top, the ivy.
And also it resonated somehow with our own experience as kids going to those kinds of barbershops and having those choices, I guess, in terms of
Who will
what
you
your
be?
coif was going to be.
The flat top, the high.
Yeah. But yeah, it was
The junior contour, the executive contour.
contour.
I really enjoyed those close-ups of the kids' heads.
Well, and the one where he's trimming the bald pate of, but
Polito?
with the sharp scissors and he loses head. Wait, don't stab him with the scissors.
Is that really Billy Bob Thornton cutting the hair for the most part?
Yeah, he went to barber school. He actually, yeah,
Because he gets pretty close to
Oh yeah,
there.
no, he kind of knew what he was doing when he.
He
I
said,
mean, I wouldn't go to him for a haircut now, but
he said a fellow student of his at the barber school recognized him and said, "The acting isn't working out." I was also struck watching it. God,
yeah,
Paul LeBlanc was a motherfucker. He was great. The hair designer.
he was a great hair designer who then trained Sidney Cornell, who's done a lot of our movies over the years. And he did No Country, he did Javier Bardem's hair, but the two of them really the best hair designers in Hollywood.
Billy Bob's that kind of sculpture. He has such, sort of gorgeous, like Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra-looking hair.
Frank's father, August, they called him Guzzy, had worked the heads up in Santa Rosa for 35 years until his ticker stopped in the middle of a junior flat top.
That was the name of the barber shop that we would go
Guzzi's,
to
yeah.
when we were kids, late 50s, early 60s.
Also, I gotta say, it's not like we grew up in the age of massages. Having somebody handle your head is a very
Intimate,
tactile,
yeah.
intimate thing, and the whole bodily thing in the movie is like,
Yes, that's true.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then taking that to the next step, which is there's your body and there's your hair.
yeah, you throw part of your body out.
Yeah, you throw part of your body out.
And I had read, too, that health, hygiene, and movies were also an inspiration, like of the movies you see in school.
I don't remember saying that, but
It does
that
make
aesthetic.
sense. Yes.
The car crash movies they show you in school.
Right. Blood on the Highway is the
Yeah.
driver's ed one I remember.
Yeah, we used to see those in school. There was one that was about pedophiles called Boys Beware that I saw in like fifth grade or something.
Geez.
Yeah. And it had that black and white photography and,
It struck me reading that, too, that's not that different from film noir, like The One Wrong Turn. It's just sort of the detour argument of detour, right? You get picked up by the wrong car or you stop for
Right.
the wrong person. In some ways, noir and hygiene films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you pay
Yeah.
the price for one mistake.
Yeah.
Says here that the Russians exploded an A-bomb and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. How do you like them apples?
But going back, I wondered about how you landed on the year 1949 and on the place, Santa Rosa.
I know that we kind of made it explicit because they're discussing
atom
the atom bomb.
Place was okay, I guess. Had an electric ice box, gas hearth, and a garbage grinder built into the sink.
That's a lot of
I
that
don't really-
post-war.
Yeah.
Post-war before it turns into whatever the weird 50s was. 50s was something different somehow.
Yeah, because there's a lot about consumerism, because Ed talks about having the in-sync grinder and the
Yeah,
electric
yeah,
range
yes.
and
Yeah,
Gas
garbage
hearth.
grinder in the
yeah,
sink.
yeah.
Gas
Yeah,
hearth.
and
We thought of making the name of the movie,
movie.
My Hearth is Gas.
Or The Man with the Gas Hearth.
I preferred My Hearth is Gas. We had a hell of a time coming up with a name, and I'm not sure we ended up
No,
with the right one.
it would have been a better title.
You heard me right, brother. Dry cleaning.
There's new innovations too, right? The dry cleaning, which still seems, when someone explains how it works, like it
Yeah.
should
I
work.
still
I
don't
know how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, chemicals.
No water.
Was he a huckster or opportunity? The real McCoy.
And you're never quite sure if Tulliver is legitimate, if he's going to
Yeah.
betray
Right.
Ed or not.
I like to think he was on the up and
I
up.
think so. I mean, Life magazine reports on dry cleaning, right? Yeah, but I love that
Exactly.
later in the movie. It's like,
It is a big
it's
thing.
true. It is taking off, like Martinizing.
Yeah.
Now, you just give me a second here. I'll give you a receipt on that. Oh, Nelly.
I was just thinking, Polito's whole sweaty thing. Do you remember Mark Lawrence in Asphalt Jungle?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweating
yeah.
Sweat
himself
when I
yeah.
count money.
He gets
Yeah.
excited, right?
Yeah, it gets excited. That's
Yeah.
true. I think it is kind of our thinking about that.
I do the talking. You keep your trap shut. I'm an attorney. You're a barber. You don't know anything.
There's also Riedenschneider, the great Tony Shalhoub. Did that name come from Asphalt Jungle? Is that?
I'm sure we were thinking
Yeah,
about
Doc
Okay.
Doc
Riedenschneider.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Life was not bad behind walls. Doc Riedenschneider, yes.
Because the more you look, the less you know. But the beauty of it is, we don't gotta know.
And his character is a little like Hume Cronin in Postman, and the sort of the wily lawyer that doesn't care at all what you did.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hear about it.
You gotta look at it. But sometimes you look at it, your looking changes it.
He also gives you a way to view the story, because in his dubious explanation of the uncertainty principle, it's sort of the more you look at it, the less you know.
Yeah.
So I guess that's sort of like true about Ed too. Like, you think this is simple, Barbara. I mean, it's really one of the great
Yeah.
bits of attorney double talk.
Yeah, he's heard of the uncertainty principle and is a little uncertain about who formulated it.
You know, big ideas. I like big ideas. We're not fucking around.
Yeah.